You off a little bit. I got a couple questions that came in from the email that are pretty decent. But if I can, and I want to open it up to you. So right now, star six will unmute your line. Star six will unmute your line. Ask us anything. It's Free Coaching Friday, y'all. Rep your city. Let them know what kind of business you have. While everybody's getting their questions together, go ahead and throw that in there. Rep your city. Rep your city. What kind of business do you have? How does it help people? We want to know. We want to know. To everybody that didn't get it, yesterday we also threw this thing out there for you to join Acorns. I don't know how many of you know about Acorns, but it's been out for some years at this point. But it's designed to make it so you can round up a purchase and then invest that. It rounds up your purchases and then helps you start to invest the little small pieces of change. Hold up, Chris is saying we can't unmute.
All participants are muted. All participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
There you go. Appreciate that, crystal clear. All right. So while everybody's getting their questions together, rep your city right now. What city are you checking in from? All right. I see we got Chicago in the building. Let's get it. Mr. Ruffin is in the house. What's up, Morose? Hampton Roads, Virginia is in the building then. That's super cool. What's up, Naraya? That means Tulsa, Oklahoma is in here. You got to love that. Let's get it. Carrollton, Georgia is in the house. Let's go. Let's go. We got Atlanta in the house. Dr. Hernandez is in the building. Tina made it in this morning. That means Charlotte is up in here. Let's go. ATL still in the house. Philly is in the building. What's up, Tammy? ATL is in here. That's what I'm talking about. Technology, boy. Kansas City's in the house. You got to love it. Let's go. Let's go. So it's Free Coaching Friday. I don't know how many of you have ever participated in one of these, but our whole goal is to make it so you can ask anything about running your business. We teach what we call the revenue acceleration cycle. I've used it on everything from mom and pop businesses, the Fortune 500 businesses. Of course, with my own company, we've hit the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America 2 years in a row. Fastest growing private companies 2 years in a row. To make it on that list, you have to be a fast growing company, and you also have to have employees, employees with health insurance, all that good stuff. We're able to do it like 2 years in a row, all using the same exact principles that I'm teaching y'all. We have an academy for entrepreneurs. It's pretty dope. Yeah, Savannah, Georgia's in the house. Let's go. Yeah, appreciate it, Chris. I don't know what was going on.
All participants are muted and they can unmute themselves.
Okay, now we back in the house. All right, good morning, millionaires. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, it's Free Coaching Friday, everybody. Chris, we should be able to unmute the line now. Star 6 will unmute your line. Or should I just start taking answers from the newsletter? Should I just start taking questions from the newsletter? For those that don't get the newsletter, don't forget to enroll today because the new edition comes out at 3:30 at 3:30 p.m. today. Our latest entrepreneurship newsletter will drop at 3:30 today. So let's get it. Let's get it.
Hi Zeke.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is Crystal Reynolds calling out of Crestview, Florida.
Hey, good morning, millionaire.
Good morning, good morning. While we're allowing people to figure out unmute. Oh, I got my thing. Okay, so I had the YouTube playing, so I was hearing myself twice. Sorry about that. So my question was that so I am good at opening up the conversation with people and asking. I can ask them, do they know anyone who could use, what I'm saying, what I offer.
Mm-hmm.
My problem comes in after I ask them that. Like, I guess I get shy or I turn into my salesperson at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really great at going after that into business. Like, I can talk about anything else. Like, I can talk to them all day. But it's just like going into my business, or maybe I just need to not do that and just keep talk. I don't know, because I'll just be talking and I won't, let them know there's business behind the conversation. So,
is that because you feel timid, or is it because you feel you really can't solve their problem? What do you think is holding you back? So you say that you'll talk to them, you'll figure out their problem, but that's kind of where it'll stop.
Right. Yeah. Like, I can see their problem, and yeah, it's kind of, that's it.
So let me ask you.
Yes, it's definitely me. It's the timid in me.
Okay, so can somebody type that in the comments for me? She's saying, how do I turn casual conversation into, cash conversation or commercial conversation? Can everybody jot that down? That's the question we're answering right now. How can I turn casual conversation into cash conversation? Is that a good summation of your question, Chris?
That sounds so much smarter. Yes, that's it.
All right. So what we do is we use what we call an icebreaker. What's your favorite icebreaker, Chris? Like, I know I give 9 of them out. And here's, I'll put this in the comments right now. If you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook on my timeline, you'll be able to see this real quick. 9 icebreakers. You guys see this training right here? 9 icebreakers. Icebreakers are how you can be in the middle of a conversation and suddenly kind of take that joint into something about your business. And from there, they can either say yes or no, but at least you threw it out there. So one of my favorite icebreakers is one of my favorite icebreakers of all time is this joint called benefits plus permission. Somebody type that in the comments. Benefits plus permission. What's up, Miss Moon? Benefits plus permission. What's up, D Money? Somebody type that in for me. Benefits plus permission. Snellville, Georgia's in the house. This is one of my favorite icebreakers. Benefits plus permission. Benefits plus permission. Somebody type that in for me. Benefits plus permission. Benefits plus permission. So the way benefits plus permission goes, Crystal, is...
I think we're having a hard time hearing you. You're going in and out.
That's weird. Benefits plus permission. Crystal, are you still there? Benefits plus permission. This is how you do it. So the way benefits plus permission works, can you hear me, Chris? Can you guys hear me out there? Crystal, can you hear me? Okay, good.
Yes,
good.
I think I can hear you. Yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing her now.
Okay.
I did have to go back to YouTube. The phone was breaking up.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. All right, so benefits plus permission goes like this. I give them the benefit that will solve their problem, and then I ask for permission to tell them about it. So let's just say I'm talking to them and I'm riding around and I'm with my my Uber driver. My Uber driver is taking me to the airport. We're kicking it. I ask him something like, how long has he been doing this? One of my favorite questions to draw out a problem is this your dream job or just something you're doing to make money? Maybe type that in the comments, y'all. Is this your dream job or just something you're doing to make a couple of dollars? Man, my cousin does this and he loves it. Let me ask you, is this your dream job or just something you're doing for money? Now they're like, heck no, this ain't my dream job. Somebody just threw up in my car the other day. I'm running out my transmission, my suspension going out because I keep piling 6 people at once inside my little car. This is horrible, but I need money, right? So now I know the problem. So then I use benefits plus permission. I say something like this. Well, I got a sister friend who drives Uber and she's able to make an extra $1,000 a month without even messing her car up. That's benefits. Then I say, do you want to know how she did it? That's permission. Y'all see that? Benefits plus permission. And after I say, do you want to see how she did it? Then they can either say, yeah, how does it work? Or yeah, tell me more. Or yeah, I need that yesterday. Or they say something like no, but they never say no. They'd be like, nah, I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm about to get another job. That's no. Or nah, I kind of like hearing my car squeak because I can write my raps to it. That's no. You know what I mean? Nah, I kind of like the smell of throw up in my back seat because it reminds me how grateful I need to be alive, right? That's no. They won't just say no. They'll say something else other than tell me more. And that's the same thing as them saying no. Everybody with me? So that's called an icebreaker. I just now put 9 of them there in the comments. Or you can go to the YouTube channel. And what I might do then is even send it out in tonight in this afternoon's email. So if you haven't joined the email system, then do that. Crystal, was that helpful?
Man, the reason, part of why I'm so timid with it too, is because those subtle no's that you just described so succinctly, like I was running over them jokers like speed blocks, like I didn't hear the people saying it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't interpret that as no, because they're just being polite, like, oh, I'm gonna figure it out later, or
that's no.
Yeah, I'm looking for another job.
That's
so
no.
Thank you for that. Yeah.
Did everybody catch that?
Yeah.
When they say no, they're not gonna say no. But you don't mind because there's so little investment on your side. All you do is throw it out there. All we're looking for is the ones that are hungry to change their lives. We can teach the rest, but you can't teach hunger. Somebody type that in the comments. You can't teach hunger. You can't teach hunger. So what we're doing is throw it out there, see if they're hungry, and then we move right on along. So Crystal, what's the name of that particular icebreaker?
I know that we're doing benefits plus permission.
Thank you. Everybody put some fire emojis in there for Miss Crystal Reynolds. That was exactly right. Put some fire. Somebody say benefits plus permission and share this training. Benefits plus permission and then share this. You just now made somebody some money. You just now helped somebody out. And then we also threw a question in there you can ask before we get busy, right? The question was, man, I got a cousin that does this. He loves it. Let me ask you, is this your dream job or just something you doing for money? Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Good stuff, good stuff. Good, Ashley. I'm glad you made it in. I'm glad you made it in. Good stuff, good stuff. You can't teach hunger. Give me a share. You can't teach hunger. And then give me a share. All right, I saw some other questions in there. Yeah, Miss Moon was like, I know somebody who makes X amount of dollars without working long hours. Would you like to know how they're able to do that? That's pretty good, Miss Moon, especially if we heard them say their problem was working long hours. Good stuff, good stuff. All right, I had a question coming from the newsletter I wanted to address real quick. They were like, they had been watching one of our videos on YouTube, and they were like, how can I make it so that the principle, you always saying the universe gives to the givers and takes from the takers. How do I put this into work in my business if I'm always giving, but it seems like people never want to buy? That was her question in a nutshell. Somebody say reciprocity principle. Reciprocity principle. Reciprocity principle. Can somebody type that in the comments? Reciprocity principle. Reciprocity. Reciprocity. So There are three keys that will make the gift a lot more powerful for you. Write these down. One is that, and these are straight from Dr. Robert Cialdini, who wrote the book on influence. You know, he gives us six pillars of influence, six principles of influence. Everybody knows that. Robert Cialdini or Cialdini. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but he always talks about how there are three different elements that will make what you give a lot more powerful, so that they are almost forced to give you in return. The first is that it be unexpected. The second is that it be meaningful. And then the third is that it be personalized. Personalized. Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. Somebody type that in the comments. Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. You know, they did a study in restaurants. We got any waiters in here? We got anybody that's ever waited tables? Anybody here ever waited tables? We got any? If you have, then you'll really feel me on this example. They did an example where they talked about how if the person that's waiting tables at the end of the dinner says, here's a mint. If they just put a mint on the tray with the receipt for the night's food, right? If they just put a mint on there, then they raise their tips by 3%. Can you imagine that? Just putting a mint on the table raises their receipts by 3%. Is that incredible? Can you imagine if you could take your gross or your net revenue, your net profits, and then raise it by 3% with something so cheap as a mint? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? But check it out. It gets even better. Because what we said is you want it to be meaningful, you want it to be unexpected, and you want it to be personalized, right? Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. Okay, Miss Moon, so you're going to feel me on this. Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. That's how you want the gift to be. Somebody type that in and give me a share. Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. And then give me a share. And so what they discovered is that if the waiter put 2 mints on the tray, then all of a sudden, instead of 3%, the tips went up to 7%. Not a 7% tip, 7% increase in the tips. But check this out, y'all. If the waiter walked away a couple steps, came back to the table, kind of looked over his shoulder or her shoulder at the manager, and then said, hey, y'all were really good, and then gives each person at the table a second mint, after personalizing it to that table, after making it feel like this is something they're really not supposed to do, 14.4% increase. 14.4% increase. Again, not a 14% tip. I'm saying 14% higher because of the fact that they did this small little tweak. Everybody with me? This small little tweak. Yeah. I see where you're going with that. Everybody familiar with the 42 principles of Ma'at? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. But meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. That's how you give a gift, Daryl. That's how you give a gift, Miss Moon. Yeah, Valerie. Meaningful, unexpected, and personalized. So that's what's behind the waiter or the waitress coming back, giving 2 mints, making it feel like it's just for that table, and how it begins to skyrocket their results. You know, people always say they want to work smarter and not harder. Is that just a cliche for you, or is this a life goal and a truth? Yeah, that's another really good question. That's another really good question. Yeah, appreciate that, Miss Moon. So a lot of people say work smarter, not work harder, but they really don't know what it is they're talking about. There are 4 levels of this game as it relates to working smarter instead of working harder. The first 2 levels are where most people are stuck. And the top 2 levels are when you start talking about 20% of the population that has 80% of the money. All right, watch this. The first level of working smart, not hard, I guess this would be the working hard, not smart level, is implementation. Implementation are the people that actually perform the task. They're the ones that actually do the thing. Implementation means you're going to make somewhere between minimum wage and $30,000 a year, right? Implementation is the level that you're stuck on when you say, if I want to make more money, what I need is another job. I need to work more hours. That's implementation. That is the bottom of the working hard instead of smart scale. When you start to move up that scale, maybe you move from implementation into organization. So what is organization? Organization is a higher spiritual level because all of a sudden you're being entrusted to keep these people together, keep them from stealing from the company, keep them from ruining the company's reputation, keep them from loafing off on the clock. You're now an organization where you're the one that's kind of like keeping the ones that are in implementation in line. You've got a higher level of spirituality connected to that task, right? You're using a little bit more of your energy when you're connected to that task. Am I making sense? Okay, but now we're about to cross the Rubicon. Now we're about to move into that level where the rich hang out. Check it out. The third level is communication, right? What keeps people stuck on the implementation level is that they want to work more hours. They think you got to work more hours and make more money. What keeps people stuck on the organization level is that they feel like they need more college degrees. So they say, oh, I'm going to go back to school, et cetera, and so forth. When you're on that management level, you can make anywhere from $30,000 a year up to $100,000 a year, right? Because you might be a manager at McDonald's or you might be a manager at Microsoft, but you're still going to have that salary cap right about there. But then when we move up to that third level, you're talking about what's called communication. And we don't mean somebody who's parroting what they've been told to say. We're talking about J.K. Rowling. We're talking about Jay-Z. We're talking about James Baldwin. But we're also talking about somebody who's leading a seminar or a workshop. You get what I mean? I'm talking about communication, where you've heard a message from on high and dedicated a portion of your life to translating that message for the masses. You know what I mean? God done put a feeling on you, and then you dedicate. That's communication. That's a higher level. There was a time when just knowing how to read and write, you were considered a wizard. It was considered some kind of mystical activity. The fact that you could read, the fact that you could write. Communication is insane. Don't get me started on how the words become flesh and dwell amongst us, right? Don't get me started by how you can be hung by the tongue, et cetera, and so forth. You see all of these pieces in your life that are leading to the fact that communication is one of the keys that can free you from any shackles that you feel or notice on your legs or on your arms or on your mind. Communication, as Winston Churchill said, public speaking is a key to turning a commoner into a king. You know what I mean? You hear it over and over and over in so many different ways. And then the fourth level is imagination. If I was in a workshop right now, I would ask the crowd, I'd say, who in here, what name do you think of when you think of Apple computer? And then everybody going to say Steve Jobs. And I'm like, why? It's Wozniak that built the computer. Why do you think Steve Jobs? And it's like, oh, because Wozniak built the computer, but Steve Jobs knew what he had built. You see what I'm saying? Steve Jobs was the one that understood that this was a world-changing kind of instrument right here. Steve Jobs was the one that said, nah, we're about to take this to the top, baby. That's imagination. And then don't get me started on the communication skills Steve Jobs had. His presentations would be legendary, right? Everybody knows that the Apple presentation is just clinically one of the best. It's just surgical, the way that he would present new products, simplify these grandiose concepts into something you not only understood, but that you had to have, right? That's because he would combine communication with imagination. So I hope that was helpful, Marose. Working smarter, not harder is not just something people say. Okay, working smarter, not harder is absolutely something that you should be going for. Thank you for your question, Queen. Everybody knows that today is the newsletter. If you've already enrolled for the newsletter, while I'm looking through the comments for these next for this next question, can somebody say me or somebody say the newsletter is fire? Let people know to sign up for entrepreneurship, y'all. It comes every Friday at 3:30 p.m. You should go to millionaireMinded.com right now and go sign up. Go sign up. Also, the Kaizen Academy is this weekend, everybody. The Kaizen Academy is this weekend. So this is a good day for you to enroll. Somebody said, how do I deal with getting business done when all these emergencies arise that need my attention? What a question, man. What a question. I'll be right back with the answer to that. Let me make sure my laptop don't die. Are y'all getting the newsletters? I think we had one of our biggest open rates last week. But for some reason, I feel like it'd be a different audience than those of us that tune in on the call. Do any of y'all actually look at the newsletter? All I'm trying to do is get you rich. That's all I'm trying to do. All I'm trying to get you to do is see you ain't got no salary cap. You ain't got no excuses. You know what I'm saying? So her question was, in a nutshell, how do I still handle business when all these crises pop up? So first of all, somebody else's lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part. You get what I mean? If they ain't planning correctly, I don't like it. I don't like them blaming it on me. I don't like it. You with me? So the reason I mention that is to say that a lot of times, and I just put this in my Instagram stories yesterday. Do y'all rock with me on Instagram? Here's my Instagram. If you never rocked with me before, Mr. Haziq Ali is my Instagram. I just put this in my stories. Like next time you say you don't have time to do something, why not change it to it's not a priority for me right now? Because we don't find the time to make things. We make the time to do things. Does that make sense? We don't find the time to make things. We make the time to do things. So instead of saying, hey, I ain't got the time, just say it's not a priority for me right now. And what this does is this makes you take accountability for where you're investing your time. Because if you say it is a priority, then guess what can't be a crisis for you? You're going to have to give up something. You're going to have to separate the elevate. You're going to have to invest some time, some energy, some resources in a slightly different way. And maybe, just maybe, by you running around being at everybody's beck and call, you're training them to consistently bring you more problems. I would switch around my priorities, Queen. Was that helpful? Charity was like, what other leadership, increase your management skills, attitude, etc., besides yourself, would you recommend? I don't quite understand what you're asking me, Charity. What other leadership, increase your management skills, attitude, etc., besides yourself, would you recommend? Besides myself, I think maybe she's asking me what other teachers can help with leadership. With leadership, I'd go John Maxwell. With increasing management skills, I'd go with Peter Drucker. For increasing attitude, I'd go with Napoleon Hill. And I would recommend myself. I would recommend you get in the Kaizen Academy as soon as possible, because those Kaizen Academies are designed around the mindset, the skill set, and the heart set that helps you go further, faster, with less effort. As a matter of fact, if those of you that don't know how the newsletter is set up, I would also suggest them go to the newsletter, because every single week we separate it into a mindset piece that will kind of shift your philosophy a little bit, just ever so slightly adjust the way you're thinking about this thing called life, the way you're thinking about obstacles and challenges, etc. So that's the mindset piece. Then there's always a skill set, a heart set piece, where we give you a quote from somebody who's notable, and then we give you the source that we got the quote from. So it might be a quote from some book. It might be a quote from some speech. It might be a quote from some magazine article. Like a couple weeks ago, we did this quote from this magician, from Penn and Teller. And it was this whole dope article on magic, right? I don't know how many of y'all saw that, but magician, because the quote we used that week was something like, a lot of times what people see as magic is just spending more time on something than most people think would be possible, right? And then it's from this whole article on magic. I mean, the newsletters are incredible. And then I always give you the skill set. So there's always mindset, heart set, and skill set, where I give you Haziq's technique of the week. You know, and that's something you can use to train your team. So yeah, that's the newsletter. It comes out every single Friday at 3:30 p.m. So if you have not registered for that, go to millionaireminded.com or go to wearemillionaireminded.com and let's get it. Let's get it. Miss Moon is like, I'm having a challenge making time to invite the presentations while juggling so many arms of my business. Shout out to Kaizen Academy. It is beyond amazing. I appreciate that, Queen. So, yeah, I understand you having to juggle a lot. This is entrepreneurship in 2023. What I will say is that you probably are thinking of it like you need intensity when what you need is consistency. Intensity is I'm going to run a marathon. Consistency is every single day I'm going around the block. I'm going around the block. And you're going to do a lot more for your health with the consistency than with the intensity. These short bursts where it's like, I'm about to put it all into my business now that I got a small break. Rather than that, maybe you decide, I don't know if you've taken that habits class, Miss Moon, but maybe you decide to get into the habit that every time you hit a red light, you're going to make a phone call. That's what we call a trigger, right? We call that a habit trigger, if you'll let it be. And that's a cold trigger. That's something that happens to you, right? So maybe every time you get a commercial, you make a phone call. Every time you're cooking dinner, that's your time to be calling different people for your business. You can turn different things into your life into ways that you can multitask, but in a good way. But my overarching point is maybe instead of intensity, you apply a little consistency. You do 30 minutes a day, but you do that 30 minutes every day. Instead of like, man, I just can't find the time to do 3 hours for my business. I know they always talk about work my 9 to 5, then work my 5 to 9, but I got kids. I can't do it. No, if you can't do 5 to 9, if you can't do 4 hours, try 40 minutes. Try 40 minutes. Can we take that 40 minutes and call 4 different people every day? Because you know and I know if we call 2 people every day, then, you know, we got ourselves 200 and if we take off on the weekends and we call 1 new person every day, that's 220 people at the end of a year. If we do 2 people, that's 440. If we do 4 people, that's 880 people we've talked to at the end of the year. And that's if we take off on the weekends. Everybody with me? Yeah, Hazik's technique of the week. Let's get it. Yeah. Consistency. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate the newsletter is a great resource to read on your downtime. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, Miss Moon, that habits class is phenomenal. We're talking about making that habits class available even to people on the basic Kaizen membership, just like we do the revenue acceleration class, because it's just that powerful. You're so welcome, Queen. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And she's like, yeah, that's it. If you're on the live line, I'll tell you her response. She said, yeah, that's it. She always thinks she needs to plug away at 2 to 4 hours for one task. And yeah, if only. The reason, matter of fact, these 90-day planners are so phenomenal. One of the reasons, right? Everybody's seen this. It's what we call the massive action planner. You know, it's our millionaire-minded efficiency line. You know, it starts off with either your mind has to match your goals or your goals will shrink to match your mind. Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know I ended my TED Talk with that joint, right? So check it out. You got places to put exactly who your favorite kind of customer is. You know what I mean? What your definite mission is for the year, right? All of that's cool. But here's one of my favorite things. It's what we call a time audit, right? A time audit. Like, what did you really do from 12 noon to 12:30? You write it right there. What did you do from 12:30 to 1? You write it right there. From 1 to 1:30, right? 2 to 2:30, 3 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4, 4 to 4:30, 4:30 to 5. You write it down. And then what you do is you kind of throw it in there. Was this a profitable activity? Was this a loss of an activity? Or was it neutral? Now, some of you say, oh, I use my phone. I'm trying to tell you, you want to use pen and paper, millionaire. You want to get into using pen and paper a lot more than maybe you do, because it's pen and paper that is going to allow you to access, believe it or not, some of the mystical qualities that our faculties are able to give us. You know, when you use pen and paper, it activates different things in your mind. You ever written down a to-do list, y'all, and then never looked at it again? But then before you know it, you've done everything that was on that list. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Check it out. Your calendar is a better measure of success than your bank account. You hear me? You tell me how you use your spare time and how you spend your money, and I'm going to tell you where and what you'll be in 10 years. Napoleon Hill said that. You show me how you spend your time and where you spend your money, and I'll show you where and what you'll be in 10 years. Y'all see that? Right there on the map thing is a pay yourself, right? Your savings accomplishment last month, your savings goal for this month. You with me? Some people be entrepreneurs. They be like, I ain't got no boss. Let me tell you who your boss is, your calendar. So every day, if you're writing the 5 things that you need to accomplish that'll make that day a success, some room for some notes. Whichever one of those 5 you don't accomplish, you move it to the next day. There's no way your life can't be different after this. And then in the back, what you got, because you always got little quotes, Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it's done, right? Every single week you got different, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it's planted, not the flower, right? All right. But then in the back of that thing, you got a whole marketing plan laid out for you. So you can write down everything that you need to do. Like in February, maybe you already got Valentine's Day written out. And then you start thinking to yourself, man, I only got 14 days till Valentine's Day. What can I do to promote something for Valentine's Day? I ain't got to wait on leadership. I ain't got to wait on my teammates. I can just come up with a promotion myself. This is how you plan all that out. So you already know what's coming up in March, April, May, June, July. Y'all with me? August. All right. So all of that's the 90-day planner. Since we got so many comments about time management, I just want to remind you what you're really saying is priority management. So this is what we call a 90-day map. A massive action planner, a 90-day map, a 90-day map. So let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Further, faster, with less effort. Order yourself one, order a bunch for your teams, stuff like that. All right, I hope this was helpful. Was this helpful? Scale of 1 to 10. How was this free coaching Friday? Y'all did good with the questions, man. Thank you so much. Make sure you join the newsletter and get enrolled in the Kaizen Academy. This weekend, we're doing straight emotional intelligence. We're doing straight up emotional intelligence. But when you join, especially when you join on a pro level, which is still less than a cup of coffee a day, you get access to the entire archives, every class we've ever done, all the worksheets, all the activities, all the homework, which never expires. And then on top of that, a lot of times you have workbooks that go with the class. So join the Kaizen Academy today because your business school teacher didn't even have a business. That's going to be my tagline. Join the Kaizen Academy because your business school teacher didn't even have a business. All right, y'all. Affirmation time. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all ready? Let's go. Y'all ready? It's affirmation time. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go. Oh, you're so welcome, Miss Charlotte. You're so welcome. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, always room to improve. Biggest room in the world, the room for improvement. Let's go. Let's go. I call in right now. We got about 5 more minutes before we're going to get y'all out of here. All right. Love y'all. Repeat after me. Here we go. I am so happy and grateful that money comes to me easily.